I'd like to conclude the second week of the course with a short summary of what we've looked at this week. A lot of the material has been just getting you familiar with the core built-in types in Haskell, and they have a lot in common with types in all sorts of languages. We have booleans, true and false, we have various kinds of numbers, integers, fixed size ints, floating point numbers, we have characters, we have strings. Now, each of those types you see in other languages. What I've done here is establish the notation, the terminology we use, some of the common operators and so on. We've also talked about making definitions. We've talked about how guards are used to give us various alternatives in a definition. And we talked a bit about the layout of programs. As I said then, typically your editor will ensure that your layout is sane and readable. So that shouldn't be something you have to worry about. I'll say something about operators. I said a tiny bit about how they associate and operator precedence, which one is sticky. If you have two operators which are fighting for precedence in an expression. And I talked a tiny bit about how functions are named. A key bit of the skill of using Haskell is understanding ghci, and part of that is understanding what on earth is meant by some of the error messages that the compiler gives you, ghci gives you. We went through a number of examples, and I hope I showed that even if you don't understand every detail of the error message, there is useful information you can glean from those. And in order to make sense of those messages, I had to talk about the mechanism of overloading in Haskell without going into a huge amount of detail, but I wanted you to understand the notion of a type class and instances of type class, so that, because this is terminology that you see again and again in error messages. Okay, so that has given us all the basics that we will start to use in the next block of the course to write more substantial function definitions.